Today, we are diving into a story that stretches across more than 160 years, 7 generations, and just countless lives. It's the story of one single family, all captured in a living document that honestly reads like a history book. But before we get into all that, I've got a question for you. How far back can you trace your own family? 2 generations? Maybe 3? It's something that connects all of us to a past we can't see, but a past that absolutely shaped who you are today. Well, for this family, the answer is 1865, and that is exactly where our journey kicks off, in a small village in India with just one name that would become the root of this massive, sprawling family tree. Every great tree has to start from a single seed, right? So let's meet the person who planted this one. This is Subedar. We're talking 1865, and he is the progenitor, the first recorded member of this entire lineage. He lived in a village called Matiaria in Uttar Pradesh, India. Everything that we're about to see starts right here, with him. So, the first few branches of this tree grew pretty simply. Subedar's son, Inayatullah, he carried the family into the 2nd generation. But it's the 3rd generation where our story really starts to get interesting. Inayatullah's 2 sons, they faced a choice, and the decision they made would basically split the family's destiny in 2 for the next 100 years. And this, right here, is the crucial turning point. It's a choice between staying put and seeking a new fortune, creating 2 totally distinct paths that would echo for generations to come. The family records lay it out, plain as day. One brother, Masrallah, he moved to a nearby village called Kolhi Garib. The other, Karamallah, he stayed behind in their ancestral home of Matiaria. Just one simple sentence, but it split a legacy right down the middle. Okay, let's really dive into this. On one side, you have Musrallah's branch. He didn't just move, he took on a really prestigious role as a Muzawar. That's basically a caretaker for a local Raja. He was starting a completely new chapter. And then on the other side, you have Karamullah's branch. You could call them the keepers of the flame. They stayed in Matiaria and protected the family's original roots. 2 brothers, 2 very different destinies. Now, from this single split, the family tree didn't just grow, it absolutely exploded. The next few generations saw this incredible expansion in pretty much every direction. So remember those 2 brothers, Masrullah and Karamullah? They're our starting point, the base from which everything else is gonna grow. But here's where the growth just gets wild. In the very next generation, the 4th, those 2 brothers had 9 children between them. The family more than quadrupled in a single generation. And oh, it did not stop there. The 5th generation, the grandchildren of those 2 brothers, numbered at least 26. Think about that, from 2 to 9 to over 2 dozen in just a few decades. And this chart really puts that insane growth into perspective. You can literally see the tiny base in that 3rd generation just rocketing upwards. That's a growth of more than 1,200% in just 2 generations. Just incredible. But you know, this growth wasn't just about numbers. It was about creating this really complex web of connections that spread across the entire region. As the family expanded, so did its influence. Every marriage was almost like a strategic alliance, forging new ties and planting roots in new villages. Places like Noshara, Dhuli D, and Sadala Nagar became part of the family's extended world, creating this powerful social and, economic safety net. What's really fascinating is how the family also worked to strengthen its internal bonds. So the branches didn't just grow outward, they actually grew back towards each other. We see cousin marriages, for instance, between descendants of the 2 original branches, basically weaving the family back together and making sure the 2 lines never strayed too far apart. And today, that legacy of migration and connection is still going strong. Musrullah's descendants, while they're still tied to Kolhi Garib, have spread to major cities like Nagpur. And Karmalah's line, still anchored in Matiaria, now has a strong presence in Kanpur. The family is both deeply rooted and totally modern at the same time. So after following this family for over 106 years, what can we really take away from all this? What does this one family tree really teach us? When you boil it all down, the story shows us 3 really powerful things. First, that a huge legacy can start with just one person, like Subedar. Second, it proves that a single decision, like the one made by those 2 brothers, can shape a family's destiny for over a century. And maybe most importantly, it reminds us that a family isn't some static thing. It's a living, breathing story that's always growing and changing. And that story is far from over. Today, the seventh generation, kids with names like Muhammad Kavish and Anabia Noor, they're the newest leaves on this ancient tree. From a single root back in 1865, the canopy just continues to spread, reaching far into the future. Which brings us right back to you. This has been the story of one family's tree, with its forks in the road, its big moves, and its incredible growth. So what about yours? What pivotal choices, what amazing journeys, what unbelievable stories are just waiting to be discovered in your own family tree?